Been a while. Took advantage of the bye week. Thought our guys had a really good week of practice here. Probably healthier we've been probably since the second game. Obviously, then a couple guys are out for the season, but super excited about the way they prepared. It's like a heat wave out there today compared to yesterday. I think we're gonna get out there and tonight, and we kind of adjusted our schedule from where we were a year ago. I'm gonna have a meeting with them tonight, tomorrow morning. Get up, have a little bit of routine in the morning, and we're going to go to the Seahawks facility and get our walkthrough there, come back. The hotel is set up a little bit better for what we want to get done. Friday night, both with meetings as well as our soft tissue stuff with Tank and his crew, and then I'm excited to have the 12:30 kickoff out there, which is 2:30 here, which I think should be pretty normal routine for our guys. So excited about the opportunity. I know we got a lot of fans coming out there as well. A lot of people have reached out, so should be a great day and a great opportunity to see where we can go.
Could be pretty wet on Saturday. What impact could that have on game planning or the outcome?
Yeah, we have wet ball work during fall camp. Hadn't had a lot of it during the season just because of the way the weather worked out. So did some things during the course of the week to prepare our guys for that. Kind of almost have to have a little bit of a three-prong plan, right? Like if weather's good enough, doesn't really affect what you do. Weather's good enough that it greatly affects what you're going to do, and then there's that kind of in between, right? Like I saw a couple games earlier this year. I know I looked at, I believe it was the Rutgers game. There was a couple guys sliding at the beginning. I looked it up in the weather history, and they had light showers that day about 2:30. That was a Friday night game, right? So maybe not just moisture at the game, but also before that, right? So a lot of things to prepare.
What's unique about preparing for a dual-threat quarterback? Do you feel like you have a good blueprint for that?
Well, obviously he's a very unique playmaker. The thing I think gets lost in all of us, everybody talks about what he does with his legs, but he can rip the ball pretty good. There's a post he threw against Michigan. It was a pretty impressive throw. I think the guy that makes that whole system go is obviously their quarterback, but couple that with their running back. They got Boston on the perimeter, right? So I think for us defensively, we got to keep that quarterback in a position that we know that he can affects the game both throwing and running.
Just for clarity, you expect Aiden Khalil, Lane Hansen to be available?
Yep, Lane Hansen snapped all this week and has been cleared. He really kind of got healthy during bye week. Caden got full use of the arm strength and no problem. Aiden Lawfrey by far had his best week of practice early in the year. I thought he's looked really good the last couple of days, and Khalil Valentine too.
I guess the running game, we've seen flashes where it's really gotten going, but what do you see in the bye week of just finding a little bit more consistency?
Well, I think the big thing I thought I give a lot of credit to Bart and Barry getting together, and then also Josh Scrooge, right? Josh really has a good beat on what we do, how we do it. I think when we got out of that Indiana game, kind of got back to the basics of what we're all about. Just little things about how we say things, how we do things, point of attack, what we do well with our offensive line, and then obviously the complement to that whole thing is what Luke can do and how that plays into it. So I thought that's come together a lot better here as of late.
Yeah, I guess along those lines, like protected Luke a lot better in the last 3 or 4 games. What have you seen about the biggest reason why Luke's been protected?
Well, I think the marriage of the game plan, but also the execution, and also Luke, like we can be the first to tell you need to get rid of the ball on something, right? And I think one of the things that happens, is you want to be perfect at everything, and we just got to be good at, delivering the ball on rhythm, on time, and I think Luke's become more and more comfortable with the guys around him. I really feel that, we knew going into it, we liked, Colin Dixon and Hank Beatty, but the emergence of Hudson also, I think, Jabo, I think the finding of Cole Rusk and Tanner Arkin in the throw game has really kind of brought some new thoughts and new thinking and new calls.
I know you've got the 2 losses to 1 and 2.
Yeah.
With that in mind, does that make you feel like every game now is kind of a playoff game for you guys? I mean, if you want to achieve the ultimate goal, you got to win every game.
I get the question. I think my job as a head coach is to put things in front of our guys and know what's out there, but our guys are really good. I saw the interviews you guys have given them. Like they really are focused on the task at hand. I think it's easy to try to jump to the end of the rainbow. I always tell our guys, right, if you go to the end of the rainbow, everybody thinks there's a pot of gold, you're never going to find it, right? But if you work your way through the process, you can get to a big payoff at the end. And I'm not afraid to talk to our guys about what's ahead of them, but the main thing we had to do this week was have a 1-0 mentality. Our guys have locked into that really since I think the return to our practice during the bye week. Just listen, there's going to be a lot of conversations about what's ahead of us, but the only thing we have to do is what's in front of us.
You get some clarity, at least in the short term, on eligibility rules.
Yeah.
Does that make it easier for you to work with, knowing what's ahead?
Yeah, I would say, obviously it came out yesterday, but for the last month we've trended. I would, when we got to week 5, obviously that brought up the Malik Cole scenario, right? And but we knew we had been tracking some guys, like for instance Braden Trimble, right? Played in the first game and then we really haven't put him back in. And now when we got to that bye week, we said, okay, let's preserve his red shirt, keep him in 4 games, which means he could play in 3. So we're really trying to keep him for the 3 home games and involve him in special teams and all those other things. He'll travel with us this week, but there's probably a half a dozen guys that we're trying to preserve what we do with them. We don't want to just send them in on a middle of the third quarter on a special teams play if we feel like I look at Hank Beatty right now, like, you know, he's a guy that when I got here it was kind of a shit show. We needed to play him, right? Like we had to kind of play some of those freshmen. Even Pat Bryant, you think about what he accomplished that first year compared to where he was playing at the end of the year. You would love to have those guys for maybe one more year, and that's what we were hoping the 5 for 5 would provide, is a guy like you know, this year it's Hank Beatty. Last year it was Pat Bryant. There's some other guys, you know, the guys that have played a lot of football, but that first year they made a lot of progress. But we really wish you could have kind of a year of playing them, but you don't have to stress them.
Bret, you've talked about Daniel Brown since the minute you got him from JUCO. Is there excitement on what you're seeing now that he's maybe as healthy as he's been in a while?
I saw his interview yesterday, and I just, you know, like somebody tried to take him down the road of, like, you know, being the injuries and where it is.
Sure.
And he said, I saw it as an opportunity, and I love the way the kid thinks. His mom, his people back home, you could tell there was something in this kid. His JUCO coaches loved his personality, his demeanor, and I've learned a lot from him, just about how to take things on, and I think he came here not knowing exactly what to expect. There was just a little bit of a moment of, all right, I'm injured, what do I do? And then this year, the knee injury kind of right in the middle as he got flowing, he isn't worried about what happened. It's how he can control the future, and that's what I get excited about.